Alright. Hello everybody and welcome to another live stream. Technically this is still a live stream, but I'm not going to have any viewers today because today I'm officially starting my Ko-Fi subscription perks, and this live stream has always been meant to be a Ko-Fi subscription perk. So when I originally came up with the idea to live stream, it was because I was considering starting a Ko-Fi, and I put a poll in my Discord asking some of my followers and friends, what kind of perks would you be interested in if I started a Ko-Fi? And live streaming my hobbies was one of those, was one of the things that people showed interest in. So I have done a few live streams already with just letting it be open to anyone on my Discord, but it's time. I officially launched my Ko-Fi subscription model, the $5 a month tier, and so the live streams are now going to be closed to Ko-Fi subscribers only, and I don't yet have any because I knew that was going to happen. Really, I'm setting this up for the future more than for something that I expect to take off right away. I'm making a webcomic now. It's going to take a while before I post it. It's going to be posted in May. I'm going to start making maybe April. Hopefully April, but probably May. But I'm going to be making some YouTube videos here pretty soon, and just other things like that. I'm going to start working towards getting a book actually finished and published. I am a professional ghostwriter, which means I get paid to write books for other people, but I am not yet a professional author, which is having books published that I wrote, my original stories under my name. I'm not that far yet. It takes time, it takes money, things I don't always have a lot of. So, I'm making my Ko-Fi subscription mainly for the future, so that when I start, publishing books and my webcomic, and when I start getting more of a traction on YouTube, maybe I'll be able to get $5 a month from people who they really maybe want to support me and my content. But all that out of the way, this is technically a live stream, but right now it's just being published to nobody, and people will only see it after the fact. But we're going to be making some jewelry today. So I'm going to go ahead and move this, and whoa. My thing is, my brand new tripod is giving me a little bit of trouble already. After only a few sessions, this is not working out the way it's supposed to. I suppose that'll have to do. You're not really going to be able to see very much, but hopefully this will help. And we'll be able to see a little something. I wonder if I would be able to zoom. I'm very new at this. Very, very new at all of this sort of stuff. So I'm not really sure if I would be able to zoom or how to do that. Maybe it would be on camo. Okay. Did that do anything? Nope, it didn't. Oh well, I'll try to figure that out some other time. For right now, I'm just going to get started and make some jewelry. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than I usually do. Today I'm going to be trying to make a necklace as opposed to the bracelets that I usually make. And I'm thinking I'm going to try to make a bit of a stacked necklace, because they're on trend right now for 2025, is what I've heard. Now, a stacked necklace is when you have 3 or more strands all stacked together and made into one necklace, but it's going to be a little bit tricky to try to do it all right. I'm going to be working in gold, just because that's kind of the materials that I have at the moment. As you can see, I have some chain in a lot of different colors, but as for wire and for bales, if I wanted to add any of that sort of thing, it's best if I try to do the gold. Although, I don't know, because I don't have any silver bales, but at the same time, the gold is hard to match up with itself. Silver, you can almost always guarantee it's going to match itself, but gold comes in a variety of different colors. So yeah, maybe I'll do silver instead. I'll try to make a stacked necklace out of silver. So I have my chain here. I've got some wire that I'm going to be using to do stuff. I do want to get more chains, if possible. Just because if you're doing a stacked necklace, then it's good to have a bit of a variety. I have a little bit of chain that I've just got lying around that I've salvaged from different little bits and pieces of things that I've been given. So most of this stuff is pretty small though, and it's not gonna, like, this isn't gonna be big enough to make a necklace. A lot of these are just tiny little pieces of chain that I got from different things. Too small to make a necklace. This one might work. This is a pretty lengthy piece. And it's bigger than that chain, so it's at least a little bit different. Yeah, I think that might be my best bet. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and work with that. So I've got some chain here. This is probably going to have to be the smallest strand of my thing. So what we're going to do for making a stacked necklace is we're just going to at first kind of lay it out. So this is going to be a small chain. So I'm going to lay it on the board here. And as you can see, my bead board is very messy. I am not very good at cleaning up after myself when I'm done with a project. So at the moment, it's a pretty messy bead board. Ideally, I wouldn't do this. Ideally, I would clean up after myself. But the thing about ideals is it's very hard to stick to them. So now I'm going to unwind some length of this other chain spool that I have and just kind of make it longer than this first one. I think right there is about good. So I got my wire cutters. I'm just going to cut some of this wire. If I can do that. I don't have the best hands. Alright, so now I'm going to just tuck that all up nice and safe. Stick it like that. So I've got another bead strand here. Another chain strand here. And that's going to be probably the third one. And I might try to do something kind of a little bit interesting with this. And add stuff to it. Same with the other one. But for right now, I'm not going to worry about that. Because the main part of this necklace that we're going to be making is going to be like the real like statement piece of it. I'm going to be taking my silver wire here. I gotta find the thinner stuff. Which of these is thinner? This is thinner. So I'm going to be taking the silver wire here, and I'm going to be making a lot of individual bead links that I'm going to be putting together. So what I'm going to be doing for that, I finally got this tool. I've mentioned it in a couple of live streams before that I didn't have the right kind of tool that I needed. And now I finally have it. This is a nylon pliers tool. It's just going to make it so that the wire is nice and straight and it doesn't have all those kinks and ripples in it. And it also, while it's doing this, while it's making the wire straighter for me so that I can actually work with it instead of it being all twisted up and everything, it's also work hardening it, which is going to make it so that it's less likely to bend so easily under the weight of any beads or anything else that gets put on it. Now, I am still very much a novice, so I don't really know if I don't really know the exact way to do all of this correctly to the best of my abilities. Like, see, it's still curved. It's a piece of curved wire. I don't know if you can see. And I want it to be straighter than that. I want it to be nice and straight, but it just curves. So I'm not really sure if what I need to do in order to make it so that this will straighten out and be what I need it to be. But for now, at least it's not all kinked up. At least it's not all tangled up and in the wrong shape entirely. Maybe I need to be applying more force. That might be what's going on. See, that looks a little bit straighter. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off, let's see, maybe I should measure this. I have a, where is, I am missing something. Aha! Ruler. Oh, shit. I'm going to just measure out an inch of this. Well, maybe more than an inch, maybe 2 inches. 2 inches might be a good idea. I'm going to cut it out at just 2 inches. It's already trying to unspool itself. So I'm just going to tighten this back up and get it closed. Where is the little notch? There's a notch in this that makes it, there we go, I found it. That you can just tuck it in so that it'll stay closed. So I've got about 2 inches of this little tiny thing here. My fingers don't want to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my round nose pliers and make a loop. You know what? Actually, I shouldn't do it like that. I need to make it a little bit of a longer loop. Actually, that's fine. I'm going to make a loop. No, you know what? I don't think 2 inches is actually long enough. I need to make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to start over. Let me get my wire. And you know what? Maybe I should use the thicker wire for this. That's a better idea. I should use the thicker stuff. So now I'm going to start over with thicker wire, just because I'm looking at it and I need a little bit of a change here. So you can see already this is way, like, just really messed up. It's not straight. It's not going to be easy to work with. So I take my nylon pliers and I'm just straightening it all out. And this is going to smoothen the wire and it's going to harden the wire so that it'll be easier for me to work with it. It is unspooling everything else. Every time I'm like, this is going to make things easier for me, I prove myself wrong almost immediately. Still, this is definitely easier than when I was just doing it by like trying to tie a shoelace around my round nose pliers. I've been waiting to get my hands on some nylon pliers for a very long time. They are so much better to use. So much easier than just trying to work without them. That's one of those things that I've always said hobbies are for people with disposable income. And I don't necessarily have a lot of disposable income. So I just kind of have to make do with what little I get. And maybe I'll have like $15 one month that I can throw at getting a new pair of pliers and a couple of more sets of beads and that sort of thing. Alright, so that's pretty good. Instead of 2 inches, let's do 3. Let's make it 3 inches. Alright. So I just put this back in its notch so that it doesn't unspool. Alright, now I've got this 3 inches. That's better. Much, much better. So I'm going to take my round nose pliers again, like I said before, and I'm going to, first off, I'm going to make a 90-degree angle down here. That's better. Now I'm going to make this into a loop. And then I'm going to wrap very tip of the loop around the, wrap the tip of the loop around the length of the wire so that it will not be nice and close. It'll close itself off. This is a little bit tricky if you don't have very good motor control over your hands, which I do not. The things that my mind wants to do, the things that I'm creative about, that I want to do, are things that my body doesn't really like doing. So I like to work with my hands. I like to make things. I like to create. But my hands are like, why are you moving? We don't want to do this. We want to just sit here and do nothing. And it makes it very frustrating. But it's already much easier now that I have this tool, this other tool. These nylon pliers. Like, this is so much easier than it was when it was just me trying to use my fingers for everything. Still difficult, but much, much easier. Maybe it would be easier still if I tried to use my other stuff for this. You gotta try to squish the wire down into place, but at the same time you don't want to just leave it loose or anything like that. Otherwise it's just gonna break. Like, I think that it might have just broken. No, I think we're good. Okay, so now I just have to kind of try to shape this back out and make it nice and straight the way it's supposed to be. This actually didn't work out very well. So maybe I'm gonna have to just cut this little end off here and actually try again. That's okay. This is all about, for me, this is all about learning. I'm still very much a novice, and that's okay. You do stuff so that you can learn how to do stuff, so that you can learn how to do stuff. So I'm just gonna make that angle, then I'm going to make it into a loop. You know what? Maybe I'll actually do it on this knitting needle that my sister gave me. Because she just had a spare knitting needle. And it's a uniform handle, so it's all the same size. So that makes it easier to make a good loop. But then again, it's actually bigger than I had thought it would be. That's fine. So you just make the loop around the thing until you have enough room to wrap it. So now I'm going to try to wrap this around itself. By holding it in place and then using the pliers to just shape it into the shape that I want it to be. It's gonna be, sorry for the dead air, the quiet here. I'm just trying to figure this out. Trying to make it happen the way I want it to happen. I'm kind of using my crimping tool here in a way that I don't think it's designed to be used. I mean, obviously it's not. It's designed to be used for crimping beads, but I am using it to kind of wrap the wire around in place. That's good. That's good. Now I'm just going to kind of squish it closed. Yeah, that turned out pretty good actually. At least better than it could have turned out. Alright, so now I've got that first loop made. It's alright. It's not as bad as it could have been. It needs a little bit of shaping to make sure that it's as round as it needs to be. And I'm just going to do that by really squashing it down on this thing. Really pressing it into place so that it'll be the right shape. And then I can just pull it back off. Nice and easy. And you've got a loop. So now I've got the first loop made. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting some beads on this. Now, I probably should have picked the beads that I'm going to be putting on this first. Let's check my purples. Actually, you know what? They wouldn't. I don't know if I want that with silver. I mean, purple and silver look great together, but I kind of want something a little bit different. So let's see. Do I got pink? I got some pink that might look okay. But I don't have a lot of pink, and I kind of want to save it. So let's try blue. Blue is a classic pair with silver, and I have a lot of blue beads. Just because blue is apparently really in this year, so you can find blue beads anywhere. They're everywhere. You can just get a lot of really nice blue beads. So what if I use some of these marbles? They're pretty. These little marble beads, they only have a little bit of blue in them. They're more just like gray and black and white, but they've got a lot of visual interest there. So I'll probably use a bunch of those. So I'm just going to set a whole bunch of these aside. Oh, you know what? These two are very blue. They are so very blue. I don't know if I want to use those. I want all of the beads to look relatively similar to each other. When you have beads that have a lot of variance like that, they're just very different from each other. It makes it harder to make the necklace look uniform. And you don't want it to look too uniform, which is the point of having beads with variance. But at the same time, you still just want them all to look a little bit similar. At least I do. I want them to look a little bit similar. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. Alright, so I got some of those beads, and then I'm probably going to just do some neutrals along with them to balance them out. So I'm going to go to my neutral case over here and just kind of check out what I got here that I think would go good with silver and blue. Maybe some black. Just some nice black to just like darken things out. So I've got some black beads here. And these. I don't really know if I want any sparkle. So probably not these. These are more sparkly. But I've just got some nice solids here. Once I get rid of the speckles. Oh crap, I'm dropping beads already. Always, every week I'm dropping beads. So I'm just gonna grab a bunch of these. So I've got a lot of just nice little round black beads here, so I'm going to get a lot of these. Although I don't know if I have enough of these particular ones. I might have to use these smaller bits instead. Yeah, I don't have enough of these round ones. Not at all. So probably just put a lot of these in here. Although I'm not really sure. I'm not really buying it. I don't really like that idea, actually. So let me just go back to the drawing board, see what else I might want to use. No, they're not going to work out. Let's see what else I got up here. I'm just not really liking some of my options here. Maybe I'll try an orange. Let's see what I got in the orange box that might be good. Maybe I'll use some of these seeds. I've got some good seeds in here. I wonder if these blue ones would go with it. Would those look good? No, they wouldn't look good. I should have planned ahead for this. I should have thought a little more about what I might want to do here. I know, like, generally speaking, what I want to make. It's just a matter of finding the right beads that I think would go with it. That I think would look good with this particular thing that I'm trying to do here. Maybe I will visit the sparklier black. See what I got in here that I can use. Yeah, I think I'll just have to go with these just because this is what I have more of. So I'm going to get rid of these bigger ones because they're not what I want. And then I'll put all of these little small black ones right in here. Just where I can have a lot of them that I can pull up and use when I'm making this necklace. Alright, so I've got that. Almost lost it. And I've got some of these silver things here. I might try to get a little more of those plucked out so that I can have a ton. I have a ton of these silver things. And they're just going to be nice, good spacers to give a little bit of visual interest to the project. I don't envision I'll need a whole lot more than that. I can always grab some more if I need some more. Alright, now I've got some of those beads picked out. So now I'm going to get back to this. So I got my loop here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a black bead on it. And then a silver spacer. And then one of these marbles. Another silver spacer. And a black bead. Real simple, real symmetrical. Just nice and pretty, just like that. And then I'm going to loop it back up and close the second part. Oh yeah, I wanted to do it on the, where did I put the knitting needle? Here we go. I wanted to do it on the knitting needle. Just so that I can make sure that it's the same size as the other loop. Now I'm going to hold this into place. Yikes, that was loud. I did not mean to drop that. My bad, you guys. I'm actually going to twist it a little bit so that they're both of the loops are facing the same direction. So hold this into place and just kind of try to wrap the other loop around itself, like I did for the first one. This one is a little bit trickier because I'm working around the beads. I'm going to try to use my crimp bead tool to shape out this, and that is not working out in the slightest. That didn't work at all. Like, it's comically bad how much that didn't work. I'm going to try to straighten this back out and start that over. Because, yikes. Alright. So now I'm going to try to start that over. Oh, my stuff is shaking while I'm trying to do this. This didn't work out. Not the way it was supposed to. So I bend it a little bit higher than that, maybe. Wrap it. And then I try to loop it around itself and make it the way it's supposed to go. It doesn't want to do what it is supposed to do. It's giving me way too much trouble. This is the thing about trying new things. This is the thing about trying to learn stuff, is that it's very difficult. Like, who knew learning was hard? And this is one of those things that you can have a clear vision in your head of what you want, and that doesn't make it any easier to accomplish. So I'm going to hold this in place firmly with that, and I'm going to try once again to wrap the wire around itself and close it off in a loop so that it will hold the beads in place. And it's not working. And this is one of those things that technically in my head I know exactly what I'm supposed to do, but knowing what you're supposed to do and being able to do it are two different things. That's why you practice. That's why you have to try and learn. Alright, I think I got it. Actually, I think I got it pretty okay that time. So then you just cut off the tiny little last bit of wire that's still sticking out with your flush cutters. Did that do anything? I don't think I actually got it. And you just smush it into place so that it won't be poking anything. And then I'm going to see the second loop is so much smaller. I'm going to try this to widen that up a little bit. That is tiny compared to the first one. I can only even get it halfway on. So this little one here was a bust, but I'll just make that be like the back of the necklace or the top of the necklace or something. So that way I don't have to waste it, but it's not going to affect the overall look of the piece. So now I have this tiny little bit of a connector here. It's hard to tell. It's hard to look at it. It won't focus on it. Camera, do what you're supposed to do. But it's this little connector piece. Oh, there we go. Now it's trying to focus, isn't it? And it's going to make it so that I can string them all together and make a larger necklace out of those. So now I'm going to repeat those steps. I'm going to do the same thing all over again. And honestly, making a necklace like this, it's great because it's practice. It's letting me practice doing the same thing over and over again until I can learn to do it well and do it right without giving me so much trouble. So I'm going to straighten out some wire here. This is taking 2 minutes, less than. It's probably only taking like a minute. Whereas before, when I didn't have this tool, I was struggling to get my wire straight for 10 minutes. So good. I'm so happy with this tool. Okay. Cut about 3 inches. Tuck this back in here. Come on. Alright, so I got this. I think maybe I should just give up on the knitting needle thing, because it's a good idea to make sure that the loops are uniform, but it's also just really making it hard for me to use my hands to do it, so I might give up on the knitting needle concept. But I will try to measure out where the loop should go a little bit better on the round nose pliers. I'm just going to try my best. Okay, so have that in place. Going to hold this closed about as good as I can. And then I'm going to just wrap the wire around itself to close it up. And the more I do this, the easier it's going to be, which is why I'm doing something like this in the first place, like I said. Because I'm going to be doing this, 10 or 20 times today. And so that should very much help me get it right. Should being the operative word here. Alright, so now I'm going to snip off the very tiny little tip of it. And just smush the wire closed so that it doesn't stick out or poke anybody. Or get tangled in your hair, or if you have a sweater on, you don't want your necklace to have any of these little ends here that just make it really easy for it to get caught on stuff. It's kind of difficult to do it though. Again, it's one of those things you can know in your head what you're supposed to do, but that doesn't make it easy to actually accomplish it. So I'm just going to try to fix this up real quick and make sure that it's done correctly, the right way. thing is, when I tried to smush it down, I just accidentally pushed it farther to the side than it needed to be. Farther than it should be, which would make it really hard for the beads to be where they're supposed to be too. The bead isn't going to rest correctly if there's wire in the way. There's not supposed to be there. But I think I got that pretty okay. I think I got it where it needs to be. So now I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. A black bead. If I can get it in there. There. Silver spacer. A marble. Silver spacer. And black bead. This time there's a lot of wire left over, so I might go down to 2.5 inches instead of 3. Because if I make the wire too short, then it's going to be impossible for me to work with it. But if I make it too long, then I'm losing valuable wire. This stuff doesn't come cheap. Alright, so I have the wire. I'm going to wrap it around. And then I'm going to make the loop. This one doesn't even want to loop all the way correctly. It's giving me some trouble here. I think I'm hearing somebody knock on my door. And I don't like that. I'm a shut-in. For a good reason. I just want people to leave me alone. This isn't quite what I want it to be doing. I just wrap the wire around itself a little bit to try to make sure that it's nice and secure, and that it's not going to fall apart. Shape the loop. This is looking very bad, but I carry on. I'm learning, and I need to let myself learn. If you never do anything new because you can't do it right the first time, you'll never do anything at all. Alright, that looks really bad, but it is done at least. I need to try to get this loop to look more like an actual loop though. It's way too long. It's oblong. It's not a circle. That was an oval. It has to be a circle. Let's see if I can figure out a way to fix this. If I hold it like that, and then I just kind of twist it around a little bit, maybe it'll close itself up a little. That's a little better. And there we go. That actually turned out okay. It might still be one of the back pieces. It might not be in the front, but it's still okay. So that's another one done. All right, so now we're going to repeat. We're going to do it again. So I'm going to just do about 2.5 inches. First I gotta straighten it out. And once I got it nice and straight, or at least straighter, about 2.5. So wire cutters. Close this up. Now I'm going to make a loop like I did the last couple of times. And if you want to learn more about how to make these loops that I'm doing, there's a bunch of really good YouTube tutorials that you can find that'll help to teach you how to do things that I'm doing. I'm not really equipped to teach you how to do it, since I'm still really obviously struggling to do it myself. But if you find a good YouTube channel, you can find plenty of good YouTube channels, is what I mean to say, that will teach you how to do it the right way, even though I clearly cannot. But I'm making progress little by little. I am slowly learning. One day I will be able to do this easily. One day I'll be able to do this, and I will make it look as easy as it looks on the YouTube tutorials that I learned how to do it off of. In the meantime, though, I'm just going to keep slugging along. Keep trying. Oh, that one turned out nice. That little bit of that loop there turned out okay, I think. It's starting to slide down. I don't need it to slide down. I need it to stay level. Okay, that turned out okay. Yeah. That turned out a-okay. Now I'm gonna just resize this loop a little bit. Get it where it needs to be. Slide it all the way down here on the tool, as far down as I can. Alright, the loop itself was a little bit smaller than I meant for it to be, but it got itself wrapped. So now we do the same thing that we did the last few times. We're going to do a black bead. Come on. Where's the hole? There we go, I found the hole. Silver spacer. Marble. Silver spacer. Black bead. And now we're going to try to close the second loop. Okay. Okay. I feel like Columbo when he's just like, okay, okay, okay. You know, all cops are bastards, and that includes Columbo, and I realize that. But at the same time, he's just fun television. Not advocating. Alright, let's see here. I'm gonna have to try to close this up, so hold this in place. Once again, I am forgetting to make sure that my loops are facing the same direction. But I think I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And using this to wrap it around itself. Turn it into another connector. Cut off the very tip. Didn't do anything. There we go. I got it, I think. And close it up. Shape it up nice, make it what it's supposed to be. Squash it in. This is actually technically something that I should be using a different pair of pliers to do. Yet another tool. You know that meme that's like, there really do be specific tools in this world? That's how I feel about jewelry making. When I first started, I just got myself the round nose pliers, and I was like, what else do I need? It's got what I need, it's fine. But then, the more that I started doing jewelry and the more that I learned, I was like, wow, I really do need specific, exact kinds of pliers for all of this stuff. That's another connector. I was like, I am sitting here, and I've got all of these 4 different kinds of pliers, and I'm still sitting here and saying, technically, there's a different pair of pliers that I'm supposed to be using for this, but who can afford to buy 20 pairs of pliers? I can't afford that. So I have what I have, and that's what I have. So I'm going to continue on here. I'm going to be content. I finally got the nylon jaw pliers that I'm using here to straighten everything. That was a big one. That was almost impossible to just easily replace. So this is my most recent purchase, and I'm really liking it, and I'm so glad that I have it. So I'm just going to make this wire nice and straight. As straight as I can. It's the only thing in my life that I actually want to be straight. Sorry for the dead silence. I just started saying, you know, straight wire, straight as a line, all that sort of thing, and it just made me think of the Annie musical. Maybe they're as straight as a line. Don't really care as long as they're mine. Ugh, okay, sorry. Alright, so back to what we're doing here. I think what I need to start doing is making the first loop, giving myself a little more room to work with it. That might be what I need to do. So, let's try that. Let's see if I can give myself more wire here. Alright. Yeah. Okay, so far so good. Now I'm going to wrap it around itself. Yeah, this is making it easier because I have more wire to actually grip with my pliers. That makes it easier for me to twist it to where it needs to be. Some people are so good and so practiced at this that after they make the initial first loop, they can easily just twist the whole rest of it around with their fingers. I am not that person. I need to do all of this stuff with all of my multiple kinds of pliers. I am just... my hands don't work that way. Okay. That looks pretty good. I actually think that one turned out okay. I do need to reshape the loop though. Man, I'm making all these loud noises, dropping my tools everywhere. I really try not to make too many loud noises on this thing. I know the camera is going to pick up every single one of them and make it super loud. Alright. So, now we're doing it again. Black bead. Silver spacer. Marble. Silver spacer. Black bead. My hands are so shaky. You know in Toy Story 2 when the old man is like fixing Woody and his hands are all shaking as he's trying to get the needle, and then as soon as he gets the needle in, he's fine. I'm like, that's kind of how I am. Okay. Here we go. Pliers. So, oh, you know what? I'm remembering. I need to make sure that they're lined up properly. Okay. I actually did that. I remembered to make sure that they're lined up correctly. We are getting somewhere. What's the phrase? Now we're cooking with gas. Honestly, I love, like, old person phrases. I should adopt more of them in my life. Yeah, this is much better so far. Although now I think I might have left myself a little bit too much room. We don't want the beads to be free-flowing here. And free-floating, that's what I meant. Just little adjustments. As we learn and as we grow. Just trying to do little things that just make it a little bit easier, and you can start learning and doing it right little at a time. Yeah, this isn't actually, I found an easier method, but I'm still learning it, I'm still practicing it, and it's not quite what it needed to be, but we're getting there. It's not quite perfect, but it is at least usable. The method is better, I need to continue perfecting it. I need to continue practicing it. So we have another connector done. This entire necklace, I think, is not actually going to turn out very well. This is going to be one of those things that I'm making it, and I'm probably not ever going to try to sell it. I'm probably just going to keep it for myself. It's good enough for me, not good enough to sell. Okay. That's how it is when you're first learning. That's how it is when you're first practicing. So I'm going to continue making the next one, next connector. So I got it nice and straight. About 2.5 inches. Close this up. Alright, now to do the whole thing again. I'm going to make a 90 degree. And then I'm going to wrap it around. Hold it shut. Wrap it around. Not gonna try to rush this. I'm starting to do that thing where I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go fast, now I'm gonna get it done, I'm gonna get it finished, I'm gonna get it completed. And I'm like, I need to slow down, take my time, do it right, and tell myself that I'm in no hurry. Because I'm really not. I'm not in a hurry. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff I need to do, but you gotta slow down and do it right the first time, or it's just a waste. All right. Once again, the loop is actually getting smaller when I work on these, and I need to try to figure out how to make it so that stops happening. Because I size my loop out the way that I want it to be, and then when I try to close it, I end up making it smaller. I'm like twisting it the wrong way, or something. But the important thing is it is a closed loop. So, black bead, silver spacer, marble, silver spacer, black bead, and dropped it, and now we close. Oh, gotta make sure it's in the right position. Okay. Wrap it around itself. leave too much room. Hold it closed. Wrap it around itself. Okay. Wow, that one was beautiful. That one closed off nice. Just clip off the end. Smush it shut into place. Okay, now I am having trouble again. That's okay. The important thing is I'm doing it. The important thing is I'm learning it. And you know what? This one ended up leaving too much space for the beads to roll around on. A little bit too much space. But that's okay, because I'm not trying to do this to be perfect. I'm trying to do this to figure out how to do this. And maybe I can close up the other end a little bit more, actually. This is actually not looking quite good. Okay. Again, it's not perfect, but it's done. So now we have 5 down. I'm thinking I might do, I'm not sure how many more. Part of me wants to say 5 more, but part of me doesn't. Part of me thinks that this is actually going to be, I'm not going to need that many for what I'm trying to do here. Let me just see how this all works out, how it all lays. Maybe I'll do 4 more. Might just do 2 more. No, I'll do 4 more. Okay, that's gonna be fine. No, 2 more. Yeah, I'll do 2 more. Okay. Just dropping everything. So I straighten it out. Cut off about 2.5 inches. Tuck this back closed. Wrong tool. 90-degree angle. Make the loop. Make a loop-de-loop and pull. And your shoes are looking cool. Why is my head telling me to do things that I don't really want to do today? Alright, let's see here. Hold it closed. And wrap it around. Wrap it around itself. I think maybe I didn't leave myself quite as much of a tail here as I could have. It's making it a little bit difficult for this one. kind of misshaping itself. Yikes. Okay. Sweet. Now to fix the loop, because it did misshape. It did get misshapen. So I'm just going to put it on the pliers, squeeze it down as far as I can to make sure that it goes back to a perfectly round shape. And like I said, all of these are turning out to be different sizes. All the loops are turning out to be different sized loops, but that is okay. So now we have it. So black bead, silver spacer, marble, silver spacer, black bead, and now we're going to close it up. So make sure that it's aligned the right way. Make the angle. Form the loop. Have it closed. And wrap the tail around itself. Now I'm having a hard time grasping the end of the wire here, so it's kind of not forming where it needs to be. That's okay. That's okay. We got this. Kind of squished itself into place, actually. That's actually pretty nice. It turned out okay. So, just gonna reshape the wire here. And that loop actually is the exact size that I wanted it to be, which makes it not uniform because all the other ones are turning out too small. So I'm just going to make one more connector. Just straighten it out. The wire just gets so loose, it just wants to fall right off the spool. Alright. It's like a slinky, like look at this. It's just coming right off the spool. It needs to stay on there or it's all going to get tangled up. thing is, I let it just get too loose. All right. That's good. That's good enough. Up to 2.5. All right. So now we got it. '90-degree angle. Looped around. Hold it closed. Trying to make my hands do what I need them to do when they're so shaky. Wrap the wire around itself. It's looking okay here. It's turning out not too shabby. Just gonna close it up here. Okay. It's not quite done. Not quite right. It's still poking out too much. It needs to be really nice and flush against the wire. Otherwise, it'll catch on stuff. Okay, that's better. That's better. Yikes, the wire went really tiny this time, the loop. The loop is so small. Oh my god. Alright, that worked though. It is at least made, like I said before. So we got black bead, silver spacer, marble, silver spacer, black bead. And then we're going to close this up. Hold it closed. Take the thing, wrap it around itself. My last one, and it is giving me trouble. All right. Just one last little pass here. All right, so now we're going to cut off the tip. That did not really do much. Very finicky. Okay. I'll work with that. Okay. Just try to fix this up a little bit. And there we have it, the last connector. Now all of these are a bit misshapen. They're not the same sizes. They're not exactly what I need them to be, but they are okay. They are good. They're fine. So now we're going to go back and get more chain. What we're going to do this time is we're going to measure out, let's see, I need 2, 4, 6. I need at least 6 lengths at first. And I think in between each one, maybe we should do 2 inches between each thing. That sounds about right. So I'll just measure out about 2 inches of chain. Two more inches of chain. Two more inches. Two more inches. How many is that? I did it? I think I did 4. Okay, yeah. 2 more inches. And 2 more inches. All right. So I'm going to just close that. I'm just going to close this back up. Tuck it in. Set it aside. Now I'm going to need jump rings. So where do I keep my jump rings? Oh, they're right here. Right here. Now these chains are so small that I'm going to try to need to get the smallest jump rings that I can. I've got jump rings in a lot of different sizes and a lot of different gauges. And I need small ones. I need little tiny ones if possible. But most of my small ones are gold, not silver, so 1, 2, 3, 4, go, come on. Here we go, 4. 5. We already have one here. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13, and come on, I just need one more. Let's try a little. 14. All right. If I had bigger chains, then I could just use some of these bigger ones, but I do not. So I have to get the small ones. All right, so now this is going to be a bit tricky. We're going to take each one of these little things and we're going to open it by finding the edge. There we go. So I'm going to clasp it like this, clasp it like this, and then just sort of twist it open. I'm going to put one connector and the edge of one chain. If it would actually fit. There we go. And now I'm going to clasp it and close it again. The jump rings are really finicky to work with. And this chain is so small that if I don't close it completely, the chain will immediately just slip right off again. But there we go. All right, so now I'm going to take the other end of this chain. First, I'm going to open up one of these, the next jump ring. Oh, this one is already kind of open a little bit, so let's clasp it. One end, pull it a little bit open, put the chain around it, put the next connector, and close it. All right, it's turning out okay. So now I get the next jump ring. Where's the end of it? There we go, gotcha. Open it. And I'm going to put another chain. There They're so small. These links are so tiny. It doesn't want to actually go onto the jump ring. Come on. This one is giving me some trouble. Stubborn little thing. Okay, let's try this again. Come on. Sometimes they'll just, there we go, got it on. Now the connector. And we close. Now the next jump ring. Now technically, since I had made all my own loops for these connectors, I could have just put the chains on it while I was making the loops. But I'm not good enough yet at making loops to be able to do it with a chain and with a chain already on it. So I just have to kind of do it this other way. It uses more materials because I'm using 14 of these jump rings. But using more materials is okay because at the end of the day, the important thing is that I just got the job done. Once I learn how to do a little bit better at the loops, I'll be able to start making connecting necklaces like this again without using jump rings. But in the meantime, here we are. Opening the next jump ring. Where is the end of it? There we go. Found it. So I just hold that in place. Take it. Open it. Add the connector and the next chain. It's so small. So delicate, so finicky. And that chain is broken anyway. There we go. And we close it up. That one's not quite closing the way it's supposed to. That's not good. Failing to close your jump rings correctly is how you break your necklaces. They'll just fall to pieces. Okay, that's good. As you can see, it's just getting longer and longer, and it's just got these nice little connector beads in here, so it's really just really coming along. Next bit, jump ring. Open it up. Connector and the chain. And close it up. Jump ring. chain, connector, close, jump ring, to make sure I'm on the right track. Yes, okay. Connector, close. Jump ring. As you can see, it's all very repetitive, but that's okay. Chain. Did I not make enough chain? I don't think I actually cut enough of my chains. I think I need one more after this. Was not counting correctly. There we go. Connector and close. Jump ring. Oh, I did count it. It just had fallen down below my scissors. Okay. I was like, I was sure that I counted out of chain. Why didn't I have enough chain? One of them was hiding. Jump ring. Chain. Connector. And close. And then one more time, jump ring. Actually, it's not necessarily one more time, but chain. Connector, close, this one's not closing right. And now it's the last one. My leg is starting to tell me that it doesn't want to be here. I have a really old knee injury from a bad job mixed with bad healthcare. And sometimes my really old knee injury will just start hurting if I move too much or not enough. My knee just really starts protesting every choice that I've ever made. So chain. Oh, come on. does not want to fit on. There we go. And the last connector, and close. All right, so now we have this really long, it's actually a lot longer than I had thought it would be. I should have done 1.5 inches each instead of 2 inches. But you know what? Really long necklaces are kind of in right now. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. It actually, I might even do it even lower. It's actually pretty nice. Okay. So we got this nice long length of chain here. And in order to make a stacked necklace, I shouldn't have cut the other chain so quickly. I should have waited until this was done. What's the smaller one? So as you can see, like this is shorter even than the other one. It's supposed to be longer, but that's okay. Because like I said, I was thinking of trying to do something a little bit different with this anyway. But before I work on that, I'm gonna try to finish the rest of this. So how you close up the necklace, how you fix it up. I need to see exactly how long I want it to be. Maybe right about there. So about a length like that then. So I'm just gonna see 6.5 inches maybe. So let's see how long this is. I don't really need that much. I'm going to leave that there. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut 2 more lengths of chain here. Maybe about 7 inches. Right around there. Here we go. Ow. Alright, so that's good. So now I'm just gonna tuck this in, put it away. Alright. I do need 2 more of these jump rings though. I hadn't accounted for the end of it when I was counting them out. Alright, so let's see. I need 2 more of these really little ones to fit these tiny chains. Now, apparently, really like heavy link chains are all the rage for this year. All the rage. But I don't have any heavy length chain. So I am just using the really, really delicate tiny length chain that I have. Even though that's apparently not in fashion as much anymore. Which honestly, I love thick, heavy chain necklaces. I think they're great. I used to have so many back in the 2000s when I was a teenager. So many heavy chain, really big statement pieces. But not anymore. Alright, so now I'm going to take it on either end of this. Okay, I just needed to get my head back into gear. Jump ring. So I'm going to take one end, connector, and then one of the longer length chains. Close that up. If I can. Come on, come on. That's another benefit of working with, like, thicker chain length. I mean, thicker length chain, is that it's so much easier to put a jump ring on it. because instead of struggling to get the tiny little links to be threaded through the jump, it's really simple. You just stick it on there. On this side, I'm going to get clasps. One clasp. So I've got all these clasps here. I'm just going to make it really simple. These are called lobster clasps. They're the ones that you take and you just kind of slip it open like this. I don't know if that's working out. Okay. Anyway, so now we're just going to get another jump ring. Open it up. And get the last bit of the length of the longer chain. And the jump ring, I mean the lobster clasp, put on that jump ring. And then, oh, here we go, right in front of me. Then we close that up again. Alright, and now on the other side, I'm going to take the other end of the connector, get another jump ring. I guess I didn't need 2 more of these, I only needed 1 more. Wait, no, yeah, I did need 2. I'm right. Feed it through the chain. Takes so long. There we go. And the last connector. We're going to close this one up. And then finally, the very last piece. You get the last jump ring open, and this last jump ring isn't going to connect to anything other than chain, but this is going to be what the lobster clasp clasps onto, because you would not be able to get a lobster clasp through these tiny little chain links. So we're just going to thread the link through here. And close it. And there we have it. So now we have this necklace all made. So now I'm just going to take the lobster clasp and put it on. 7 inches was probably too much. Yeah, but since it's supposed to be a long necklace, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to fight with my tripod, which is giving me trouble. There you have it. A nice long bit of necklace. It's supposed to be right about like that. That way it sits nice. Okay. I'm just going to take this back off again. Now I did originally want it to be a stacked necklace. So what that means is that I shouldn't have actually closed these jump rings up quite yet. I'm going to see about these. What I want to do is lay out this necklace nice and flat like this. Yeah. And then this one like that. And this other chain like this. Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, normally I would want the big one to be in the, I mean the one with the beads to be in the middle, but it's too long for that. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to get some more of those little jump rings. Maybe I won't. I'm second guessing myself. Maybe I'll just let this be its own necklace and I won't make it a stacked. People can stack their own necklaces just by wearing 3 or 4 at a time. I don't need to do that. I'm okay. This necklace can be just fine the way it is. Alright, so then there we have it. We have that nice stacked necklace. But I will use the chain that I already caught to make a pendant style necklace instead. So we have the connector necklace. Real nice, real pretty. Okay. But with the chain that we already cut, the really long, the long one, the thin, delicate one, I'm gonna see whereabouts that would sit on my throat. Yeah, I think that's good enough for a pendant. All right. Actually, I forgot I don't have any silver bails, so I'm not gonna do this. I guess maybe I will just call it here. I'll close it all up here for today. Yeah, I've been up here for a couple of hours, I think, so it's a good time to stop. So, let me just try to wrestle with my tripod. Yeah, see, it's making a lot of noises it's not supposed to be making. I'm gonna have to try to figure that out after the video. Anyway, so, I hope you enjoyed watching this back. Like I said, it's technically live, but I haven't had anybody live today. I haven't had any viewers because it is now for Ko-Fi subscribers only, and I don't yet have any Ko-Fi subscribers. But everybody who's watching it through on the playback, it's nice having you here. My name is Mercury Addison. I'm a writer, artist, and a jewelry maker. Oh, this is another one of the bracelets I made a long time ago. I like it. This is one that I'm keeping for myself, that I'm not ever planning on selling. But anyway, if you want to join me on Ko-Fi, not only would you get access to the live streams, but you also have, you would also see the first 3 pages. Actually, anyone can see the first 3 pages of my comic on Ko-Fi. I haven't posted. So you have the first 3 pages. They're pretty cool so far. It's hiding my face right now, but they're available. Anyone can look at them on Ko-Fi, linked on my YouTube. And then from now on, I'm going to be posting the new pages on Ko-Fi for subscribers only. And once the full first chapter is finished, I will publish it for everyone to read. But from now on, I'm just going to be making it so that as I work on it page by page, I'm going to be posting it for Ko-Fi subscribers only. I've also got a free wallpaper set. It's a mobile wallpaper and then desktop wallpaper in 3 different ratios. That's also available for Ko-Fi subscribers. And I'm going to be starting a new YouTube series soon, hopefully. That's not a live. It's not live streaming, but it's going to be a book club where I start reading through a different book. And it's not really a book review as much. Like I'm not going to be reviewing books, but I'm just going to be kind of reading a few chapters of a book and kind of discussing it. And then any of my followers who want to follow along, they can get a copy of the book and follow along themselves. So it's going to be real fun. That's my plan. I'm hopefully going to start posting those videos later this month. But in the meantime, hope you enjoyed it. I will see you guys next time. I'm doing another live stream on Wednesday. I'm doing an art live stream on Wednesday. Again, probably I won't have very many people viewing because I won't have any subscribers to view the live stream. Sorry, I can't speak. But I'm going to be drawing another part of the art exchange that I have with Do Whatever, one of my friends. And so she's going to be on the stream, even though she can't really do the Ko-Fi thing right now. Since it's based on her comic, I'm going to be letting her on the live stream while I finish it up. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Bye!